Okay, so how many of us have some kind of coffee machine at home, like a Keurig or espresso? Yeah, a lot of people. So my parents have been to Italy a couple times, and on their most recent trip, they brought me back this mocha pot. It's very common in Italian households to make coffee of any kind. I used to drink about 1 cup of drip coffee a day, but now that I have this mocha pot, I make 1 to 2 to sometimes 3 lattes a day. The mocha pot can be very useful to make a latte if you know how to assemble it correctly, brew the coffee, and make the latte. So first I'll show you how to assemble and brew it, or assemble and make it. First we'll fill this water, the mocha pot is made of 3 parts. You have the water chamber, the funnel, and the coffee collector. First we'll fill this water chamber up to where the water level meets the bottom of this valve. I'm not sure what the valve does, so we're just going to ignore that. But you'll fill the water until it reaches the bottom of this valve. Next, we'll fill this funnel with finely ground coffee. I have a picture of it here. You don't want to pack it down like you do with a typical espresso machine because, like I'll mention in a moment, the mocha pot uses very low pressure. So if the coffee is packed down tightly, it can be hard for the water to penetrate the coffee. After this is filled, you'll set it down into the water reservoir like this. Then lastly, we'll take the coffee collector and screw it on the top. And then you'll open the lid. So now that we have the mocha pot assembled, we can brew the coffee. So typically this mocha pot would set on the stove like this with the lid open on medium to low heat for about 3 to 5 minutes. But I don't have a stove here, so we're just gonna pretend. Like I mentioned, the mocha pot uses very low pressure. It uses pressure from steam from boiling water in the reservoir to push water up through the coffee that's right here and into the coffee collector here. It uses about 1 to 2 bars of pressure, whereas your typical espresso machine uses 9 bars of pressure. So this gives you a very slow brewing time, about 3 to 5 minutes. But it produces coffee that's more concentrated than drip coffee, not quite true espresso. I don't taste the difference though. When your coffee starts brewing from the spout up there, right here, you can take it off the stove and close the lid. So now that we have our coffee brewed, we can assemble the latte. I'm gonna make a salted maple latte today, and so what we'll need is a heat-proof glass or cup, maple syrup, I like to use a fancy kind, a splash of vanilla, salt, milk, and ice. The salt just brings out the sweetness of the maple syrup. You won't really taste it. First, you'll pour about a tablespoon of maple syrup into the cup with a splash of vanilla and just a pinch of salt. While your coffee is still hot in the mocha pot, you'll pour it into the glass over the coffee and stir it. And you can see here, it makes about 1.5 shots of coffee. After you do that, then you'll add your milk over the coffee, and then you'll add your ice like I did here. I already drank half of it and the milk, or the ice melted. But after you add your milk and ice, you have your salted maple latte. In just a few minutes and with a little bit of effort, you can make an easy latte at home. The mocha pot is very common in Italian households. About 70 to 80% of Italians have one of these in their home, and they prefer to use it over a typical coffee machine, which is more popular. But the mocha pot can be used to make an iced latte if you know how to assemble it correctly, brew the coffee, and make the latte. So just like the Italians, if you guys are looking for an easy way to make coffee at home, this is a great way to do it. Thank you.